How you doing, everybody? It's Tuesday the 2nd of February 2010. It's around lunchtime, and I just want to touch on a couple of things if I could today. The first is an article, a newspaper article out in Ireland, and specifically the Kelly Church and the education system. And you know that's an old hoary favourite of mine, so I will go on about it. Anything to do with the church, or to do with the media, or to do with the government, I'll have a go at it, as you know. So it's written by this man Fintan O'Toole. I think you should have a wee look at it. It's just in there. You can have a look at it, the link, and I'll just read out the first line. You get a grasp of it, okay? What it's about. And it says, imagine a country in which entry to a major profession is subject to a test of one's private beliefs. Is it a Soviet satellite in the old Eastern Bloc? Is it Iran? Is it Saudi Arabia? No, how about Ireland in 2010? So that'll give you an idea about the general thrust of what he's about, okay? So have a wee read of that, and I think it's fascinating. The next two, it's out of the Irish Times. The next two articles I want to relate to are from the Guardian, today's Guardian, and I think both of them are fascinating. The first one relates to these leaked emails relating to this man, what's his name? Professor Phil Jones from East Anglia, the University in East Anglia, which is one of the big hubs for collecting all this information from all over the world relating to climate change and how they distorted some of the information and whatever, okay? And this is a survey, a sort of an investigative survey done by Guardian reporters, and I think it's very interesting. It's very interesting, okay? I don't want to go on about it. I don't want to open the debate. You know where I stand on it. There probably is global warming. Is it man-made? I doubt it. I don't think so. Okay? There's too many things going on we don't have no control over, and too many things that there's no there's no simple. This is all a one-liner, you know. Nobody was talking about this, as I say, 30 or 40 years ago when we were at the height of our economic development. No, they're talking about it now when a new big players have arrived on the scene, i.e. China and India. They've arrived on the scene, and they're going to usurp the West within the next 20-25 years. And all of a sudden, ideologically, they're being challenged on climate. It just stinks. The whole thing just stinks. Okay. Anyway, have a read of that. I think that makes for a very interesting read, because attached to a lot of these things, a lot of these articles out of the Guardian, which they've started doing now with a few of the Irish articles, is there are comments put on the end of them by people who read the blogs, like me reading it, and some of the comments are fascinating, really, really interesting, because you tend to get, you know, people who believe in it, believe in the climate change theory, and all the ones who want to negate it or debunk it. Okay, so you get the quid pro quo going on. Anyway, have a read of that. I think it's I have a wee read of it there. I think it's fascinating. The final thing, though, is a powerful thing altogether, and it's going on at the moment. And it's this lady Claire Short, and she's up in front of this Iraq War Committee, this Iraq War inquiry that's going on in London. Now, to me, the whole thing is a bit of a damn squib, but it doesn't matter. You know, you've got the likes of her, and she's having her input, and she's saying what she thinks, and I think it's fascinating. I would sort of coincide with a lot of this woman's beliefs, not all of them. She has a funny attitude about the Provos. She supports the Provos, and I wouldn't be going down that line at all. But apart from that, just in general left-wing politics stuff and her attitude about Israel, I think I would agree with a lot of where she comes from. And she had the moral integrity, the guts and the fibre, the moral fibre to jump ship when she saw the way that Iraq war was going. So all power to her. She's up there today. She's on her own. She's a woman in her 60s, and as I've often said about these women, when they do take a moral position and they believe it to be right, they'll fight at the bitter end, and there's no compromise with it. There's no like, oh yeah, I think, oh no, it's just that's it. I've taken a position and that's it. So she's to be applauded. There's no doubt. She's to be applauded, and I just find the whole thing fascinating. She doesn't mince words. She just says it like it is, and she's giving it out thick and fast and furious today to Mr. Blair and Mr. Brown, because these are both men that want to write their, like, they've compromised their whole integrity and their moral fibre. They don't have any of that. They want them to be written up in the middle class history books. You know, that's how they see themselves, and it's pathetic. We must never forget, 1 million people died in that Iraq fiasco. That's so far. 1 million people, imagine. And in real terms, they're probably still no further ahead. They'll probably destroy that country for the next 15, 20 years. But anyway, listen, we'll talk more. Have a read of the article. I think it's fascinating.